Often we think we understand what is best for us, but relying solely on our judgment can lead to dire consequences. Human wisdom is inherently limited and flawed. We see only fragments of the larger picture, making decisions based on incomplete information. Our hearts can mislead us when we trust solely in our own understanding. God's wisdom, on the other hand, is perfect and infinite. He sees the end from the beginning and knows the best path for our lives. Yet we often cannot grasp this truth. It feels right to be cautious and vigilant, but this approach often leads to misery, sadness, and even death. We often believe that our way is the right way. We plan, set goals, and act based on our understanding and desires. However, when our plans do not align with God's will, they often end in frustration, disappointment, and sorrow. The path in our hearts may seem right, but it often leads to hardship. The way that appears to be right often presents itself with numerous options and minimal sacrifices. It is the path of least resistance, seemingly smooth and inviting, but we must scrutinize these easy choices. Does this solution allure us because it grants more time for our wants? Because it spares us the discomfort of changing our lifestyle? Because it imposes no moral discipline? True righteousness often calls for courage, demanding effort and self-sacrifice. The easy road, though tempting, can lead us astray. Beware of shortcuts that seem harmless but end in ruin. We must seek God's guidance in every decision and strive to align our hearts with His. I hope we can all internalize this truth. No matter how right we think we are, we can be completely wrong in the eyes of God. Being wrong before God is, paradoxically, the right place to be, for His ways are higher and wiser than ours. Many souls yearn to affirm before they embrace, seeking sight before surrendering to belief. They desire the tangible to confirm their faith. If the world aligns with their thoughts and feelings, they accept it. If it diverges, they discard it. Yet the scriptures reveal a higher path, a divine faith beyond human measure. True faith, as God defines, is the certainty of unseen hopes, the conviction of the invisible. It is the deep trust in the promises of God, a steadfast reliance on His word, even when life's storms rage. It is embracing the divine hand in all things, accepting His will, even when the veil of doubt shrouds our vision. Yet how many among us truly walk this path? How many surrender wholly to this divine trust, letting go of the need to see before they believe? This is why so many relationships crumble into sorrow and disillusionment. We, imperfect and born into sin, carry our burdens and traumas into the tender spaces of healthy relationships. It is a deep wound when we are judged or cast aside because of the pain someone else carries. This is the consequence of placing our trust in human connections rather than in a divine relationship. While people may abandon us, God promises to never leave us nor forsake us. Yet, to embrace this promise, we must first have faith, for only through belief can we truly receive His unwavering love and presence. Faith in God offers the substance and evidence that, despite our current struggles, we are not forsaken. God witnesses our pain, understands our brokenness, and remains steadfastly by our side. Too often, we lean on humans instead of God because it seems easier in the moment. We are impatient, unwilling to wait for God's timing, eager to solve our own problems. In our spiritual practices, people strive to prove themselves to God, to display their faith. Yet, it is Jesus who made us righteous and who sends righteous people into our lives to aid us. Tragically, many do not believe because they cannot see. They are blinded by the veil of past traumas, their own self-righteousness, and their projections. Many cannot see that Satan operates this way. Rejection is Satan's core power. He tempts us to abandon our blessings and exchange them for curses. He makes us reject the precious grace from God, urging us to sanctify ourselves. He makes us discard the servants of God placed in our lives and exalts our hearts higher than cathedrals. Satan does everything to isolate us from faith. He wants to move us from living a faithful life, leaning on God, to relying only on ourselves, past judgments, and narrow perspectives. May we all find the strength to discard our limited perspectives, our selfish desires, and our past experiences. Let us accept that God is in control at all times, releasing the need to confirm everything. Instead, let us embrace all that comes from God, for this acceptance is the key to true freedom and unwavering faith. Trust is a cornerstone of human connections. We lean on our family, friends, seeking their support, guidance, and presence in times of need. We have all placed our trust in someone dear to us, only to find that even the most trustworthy can fail us. We have felt the sting of isolation, the ache of betrayal. This verse reminds us that people, with all their good intentions, are fallible. Their ability to be there for us is often limited by their own imperfections. We seek comfort in the arms of those we cherish, only to find that their embrace can sometimes fail us. This realization is a deep wound, a reminder of our shared humanity. This verse speaks to the heart of this experience, teaching us that while people strive to be there for us, their imperfections often hinder their ability to do so. The fallibility of human nature means that trust, though essential, is fragile. It emphasizes the profound importance of placing all our trust in God rather than in people. Unlike humans, God is perfectly faithful, unchanging, and always reliable. He never fails or disappoints. He is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Trusting in God means believing that He knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see it ourselves. His plans for us are good, designed to give us hope and a future. We often find ourselves living for our spouses, our children, or even ourselves, but God desires a deeper unity with our hearts. He calls us to live a spiritual life, to preach the gospel, and to place our trust fully in Him. This spiritual journey teaches us to rely solely on God. In this psalm, it promises that when we trust in God and acknowledge Him in all our ways, He will guide our paths and provide for our needs. Reflect today on the corners of your life where your trust has been placed in people rather than in God. Are there moments when you lean on your own understanding, shunning the wisdom that God offers? Do you yearn for a spiritual life, or are you caught in the cycle of impressing others and establishing your own image? These questions invite deep self-reflection and spiritual awareness. This reflection is not intended to bring about condemnation, but to foster a deeper spiritual life before God. If you are struggling, Ask God to help you align your heart with His, to live for His glory rather than for human approval. Acknowledge these areas and let the grace of God guide you in applying this newfound awareness. Read your Bible. Surely those who visit this channel already have one, but for those who don't, I've recommended a few in the description below. It doesn't have to be the ones I suggest. Just make sure you have a Bible. You don't just read the Bible, it reads you. It looks into your soul, whispers truths, and shines light into the darkest parts of your heart. It reflects not only the world, but your very essence. Thank you for watching, and may your journey through its pages be enlightening.